petty all the time. I'm petty all the time.
Baby, welcome to the party.
Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T. Y. I'm petty all the time. Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T. Y. I'm petty all the time.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Paulette coming out the set. What's good?
Hey y'all, it's your girl Shelly Shell, aka Egypt the Nasty.
Hey everyone, it's Just Nick checking in for our mini moto episode.
Here we are. We're going to be reading different motos, mine or the other, that people write in, and we'll just, give a little feedback and what we think on your situation. And if you ever have a moto you want us to read over, send us an email at pettyparty12814@gmail.com. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the first one. This person wrote, should I tell a girl if I know her boyfriend is cheating on her? My boyfriend's best friend is 30, recently got into a long distance relationship with an absolute gem of a girl who's 26. Before the relationship, he was the type of guy to do 4 to 5 Tinder dates a week. Real player. Never showed any desire to commit to anything serious. We were all surprised when this relationship happened, especially being a long distance one. It's been about 6 months of them dating, and I asked my boyfriend how the relationship is, and he told me the guy's still going on Tinder dates behind her back, actively seeking them out. I've only met this girl once, but I will see her soon, and I know I feel so guilty knowing what I do and seeing them together so happy. My boyfriend will never call out his friend properly, for he's told him he's disapproved, but it doesn't seem to matter to this guy. As a girl myself, I know if the roles were reversed, I'd want to know, but should I tell her not to trust him or just tell her what I know? Or is it really just none of my business to stir things up for them, especially since I barely know her? I just feel so bad for her. What should I do?
Okay, so the crazy part is, so I was dating a guy long term, and I got really, really cool with his best friends. I think to the point where they actually kind of looked at me like a little sister, whatever the case may be. And some might say hey, they liked you too. And it was to the point where his best friend actually came to me and was just I would be lamenting to him about my current boyfriend, whatever. And he was just this is not your end all be all. He would throw hints out there without blatantly say hey, this nigga's cheating on you. He would be hey, I think that you should keep your options open, whatever the case may be. So I think it's one of those things for you. I wouldn't write out blatant say hey, he's going on Tinder dates, he's doing this, because that makes you a very messy person that now throws you into the mix, because naturally the girl's going to have to bring up where she got the source from. But I think that you can make cues. I truly do. I think it's one of those things where it's okay, let's go out without him. Whenever she comes in town, let's go out without him. Let's go have fun.
How's that a cue?
Kind of just I don't know. It's one of those things where it's okay, if y'all are out, a guy's flirting with you, I'm not going to stop you. Or we're around guys, they're buying us drinks, I'm not going to stop that.
Trying to encourage her to cheat on her boyfriend?
I don't want to encourage her to cheat, but I think it's one of those things where it's can you cheat if he's already cheating?
I mean, but you don't have to now return the act with the act. But what I'm saying is that I honestly think you should mind your business. It has nothing to do with you. At the end of the day, just how people, for example, I understand they're not married, but with married couple, people tell you mind your business. Apply that to this. It's not your business. You don't know her. You don't have to sit there and be Mari here. Just mind your business. Be a fly on the wall, because what if it gets to the point where now you start doing all that and then your boyfriend now start having an issue with you? I can't ever bring you around nothing because you want to sit here and try to be Dr. Fix-It. It's none of your business. Just how he's minding his business, mind yours too.
He's not minding his business. But he's doing his business plus other.
No, I'm talking about her boyfriend is advising his friend to stop doing that. Her boyfriend, that's friends, that's what she's asking. Her boyfriend's friend is cheating on his girlfriend.
No, her friend is cheating on a new girl that she likes. That she likes as a friend.
But there's a guy friend already advised. She even wrote that she asked her boyfriend. He said he already told him that he shouldn't be doing that, but it doesn't land well. She wrote it in there, and I read it. So I just think that if he is talking to him and he's not listening, what are you gonna do?
But I don't know. I don't know if she's wants to talk to the guy. I think she's
no, the girl. You don't need to tell her that her man is cheating on her. She probably knows.
I think it's one of those things where I think that. Okay, so in the past, I've always been oh, just mind your business. But in certain situations, you can actually kind of stop like things from happening. I'll be honest with you. Like, I think that we're so like in this world, like it's like we're out for ourselves. It's a dog eat dog world. But it's like, damn, like you blatantly see that this guy doesn't take this girl serious. And you never know, this girl might actually end up being someone that you actually become very, very good friends with.
But how do we not know their dynamic is that? Like, how do we not know that, yeah, he may really like her, but they may not be in a committed relationship yet? So then you're now telling a girl, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just really none of your business.
I think it's one of those sticky situations, but at the same time, like I said, like I'm not going to go gung-ho for a man that's clearly doing whatever he wants to do whenever this girl's not here. And you expect me to come around and be like, okay, like, yeah, I'm gonna be your wingman. I'm never going to be a wingman and cheating.
I understand, like, absolutely. But I just feel like you don't need to go out of your way and now start having sit downs with her and telling her about what her boyfriend's doing.
You know what's crazy? I don't think that you need to go out of your way, but I do think y'all can't be friends.
Yeah.
Y'all can't be friends. And if she wants to understand why she'll understand like why is this girl acting funny. I do think you can't have it both ways. You cannot befriend somebody while withholding the type of information that you know is going to like affect the dynamic of that friendship.
Just don't be wrong.
Because that's low-key fucked up. So to me, it's just like, yeah, if you do want to mind your business, just stay away from that friendship. It's very easy to do. You do not have to go out of your way to bridge a friendship with this person. But I do feel like that's the only choice.
Yeah.
Because y'all don't ever feel weird whenever, like, I mean, I know I've been in a situation multiple times where I've been with my boyfriend and he'll be around his friends that are clearly in relationships or married, and I see them with multiple women. And it's like, for me, why do you feel comfortable? Like, what's over my forehead that says like, hey, I'm okay with this. Like, I'm going to be complacent. I'm not going to say anything. That's not me. So I would rather you just not bring me around.
Yeah.
Than you to think like, hey, oh yeah, so-and-so's girlfriend's cool. She's not going to say anything to whatever the case may be. I'm not doing that.
Because once you get that cool and they start realizing that you're not going to tell, then they're going to start bringing you around the sides.
Exactly.
Right.
And a lot. Like trips.
And like, I don't know. There's a deeper conversation there, but I just wouldn't be around, period. Like, because I would just feel like, you know, I wouldn't be around, period. Like, I just be done with that entirely. Because it's like,
I think you have a choice to make.
I
think if you do see this person as somebody where it's just like, well, you know what, we are becoming really good friends. I do think that in that situation, you kind of owe it to her to say that. And I'm only saying that because if I was in that same situation, I'm not going to lie, especially getting older, like sometimes ignorance is not bliss.
Yep.
You can waste a lot of years with a guy that you shouldn't be with. And of course, it's going to be unfortunate and maybe heartbreaking to hear that your man is cheating on you. But the earlier you know, the better.
Yep.
You know, why wait till 2 years and you're really in love? If it's really new and he's on Tinder and like doing crazy stuff like that, like, yeah, tell me. And I may still fuck with him and I may not be friends with you. Okay, at least you told me and you went on with your business. But at the same time, it's like, if you really feel like it's none of your business and it's a new friendship and it may affect the dynamic you have with your boyfriend and your friend, then just like, stay out that girl way.
I think it's also a safety issue at this point. People have normalized sleeping with multiple people unprotected. And I think it's such weird behavior at this point. Like, people have to understand, like, diseases are out there. They spread. And they spread through sleeping with, being promiscuous, and not using protection. So for me, I'm never going to, like, at this point, I'm never going to sit back and knowingly know, like, hey, this man is sleeping with multiple people, putting your health at risk. And I'm just going to, like, just be there and not say anything. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not taking part in you spreading diseases. Simple. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next motto. It is titled, I think this man hates me, LOL. Oh,
don't they all?
Girl. So it's a little long, but we're going to get through this. Okay. So after a few debates about writing in, here I am typing this up at work. Oh, we love you, girl. About a year ago, I started dating this guy, male, 30, and at the time I was 23, female. A year prior to that, he had followed me and unfollowed me on Instagram a few times, and we matched on a dating website. Once I finally returned the follow request, he then began to reach out, but I was inconsistent with my replies, and so he kept up to just liking my story when I would post. More time goes on, he reaches out again, and this time I'm a little bit more intentional with my replies, which leads to a first date. The date goes well. I had my doubts, but overall, I had a good time. After a few more times of seeing each other, we began to officially date. However, it was anything but peaceful. Whoa. We argued all the time, and we were very on and off. In the moment, I felt like I was being young and childish because I was ready to walk away from the relationship, and he would fight all day and long for it. However, knowing what I know now, I see I was being gaslit every time I was trying to hold him accountable. Another thing to note is that I noticed whenever I was in his presence, my fight or flight reflexes were on. And in other words, I always felt the need to be on guard. I wasn't sure where this feeling was coming from, because at this point, he had not given me any reason to think he wasn't a good person, but everything in my gut was telling me to protect myself. To the end of the relationship was a hot ass mess. I got pregnant, had a dangerous miscarriage, and we broke up. When the end was finally near, I could hear him quiet quitting. He stopped showing up for the relationship, was not nearly as affectionate with me as he was, and overall just showed me a lack of interest. I tried to overlook it, but the final straw was this year on Valentine's Day. That was my final straw too, girl. He came to see me and showed his natural black ass. He had a gift and took me out to dinner, but you could clearly tell he did not want to be there. The next morning, I was so mad that when he left, I had blocked him before he made it to his car. Eventually, he blocked me back, and we had a hard no contact for about 6 months. Now, the present day. He reached out about a month and a half ago because the due date of our baby was soon approaching. Initially, I thought this was a sweet gesture, but a conversation continued. We began to flirt. Now, sexual chemistry was not an area we had trouble in. And I think it also got us into trouble because it could cloud our judgment when it came to solving issues. So as much as I wanted to lean into the temptation, logically, I knew this wasn't a good idea. Eventually, I folded and went to see him and had sex. Instantly, I knew something was off. Everything about it felt like a sneaky link, and there was almost no foreplay. We did not speak too much after, but after a few days, I'm processing everything and it dawns on me. What if he has a girlfriend? I FaceTimed my best friend and told her to check his Instagram, and I saw her mouth drop open. I hung up the phone and started calling and texting him. He tried blocking me, but eventually unblocked me and called back. When I asked if he had a girlfriend, he tried to saying that they were only talking heavy. After hearing him still lying to me, I called him everything but a child of God and told him how he fucked up and was using the baby to put himself back into my life. As the night goes on, I feel myself getting angrier and seeing our situation for what it was, and decided to reach out to the girl. I sent her screenshots and told her what had happened. She proceeded to tell me that she was his girlfriend and they had been dating for about 6 months. Our encounter was not bad at all, and in the end, she thanked me for telling her. I guess the part I'm not understanding with this guy is that every time he goes through extensive lengths to put himself in my life just to do me wrong in the end. I look at how we started dating. He pursued me for a year and completely fucked up once he got me. During our time together, he was reluctant to breaking up and not taking the necessary steps to maintain our relationship. Even this time around, he reached out on TikTok because he was blocked everywhere else. And if I had used TikTok like that, I would have blocked his ass on there too. At this point, I think this man hates me, LOL. I don't bother him, yet it seems he goes out his way to put me through hell, and I just can't make sense of it. Help, please.
I think he hates himself.
Yeah, girl, he keeps reaching out because you keep responding.
Yeah, you should block him.
Not gonna lie.
But she
put
did.
a restraining order.
She did block him. You know what? The thing is, why do I feel like you're talking about me? Because I literally have gone through this with my recent ex, and it's so unfortunate because I start to think the same thing. It's like, you see me in a good place, you see me doing well, and then you still continue to insert yourself knowing that you don't have good intentions for me. So do you hate me? And I had to actually straight up ask him that. I'm like, do you not like me? Do you hate me? And he's like looking at me confused, but it's like your actions are telling me that. So I think it's one of those things where you have to actively, girl, like, if you got to switch your phone number, if you have to block him in every regard that you can, you have to do it. And you have to stay strong. There's nothing nice about what he's trying to do to get back into your life. It's convenience. That's all it is. It is convenience and it is comfort. He's happy when he's with you. He's happy when he's having sex with you. But as soon as he's got that, he goes back to his regular life. And don't allow yourself to be put in those positions where you're being used for your positivity, where you're being used for your comfort, where you're being used for your goodness and your likeness. Simple.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody who he just wants access to you. Like that's really all it is. And it's sad to say, but a lot of guys, it's like, I'm sure that you are like a good person. I'm sure you're somebody that he probably could benefit from having in his life. But if he's not a good person, he's not even gonna be able to see that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So right now, the only thing that bothers him is that he doesn't have access to you anymore. Right. So the more you block him, the more he what it feels like is he wants you, but no, he wants that access. It's almost like, have you ever like, say you're somewhere and you don't even want to be there, and you start feeling like, say they kick you out. I'm not saying you've been kicked out somewhere, but it's like you don't really care that you've been kicked out because you don't want to be there, but it's like the audacity of them to say that you can't be here anymore. You know, I think to him it's just like, what? Like she think that I can't call her. She really think that she just not gonna be able to fuck with me anymore. I can't fuck with her. So it's almost like a cat and mouse game. Like he just wants to be able to know that if he reaches out to you, that he can be able to touch you. And once he's achieved that goal, like the interest is gone. Yeah. And it's like the cycle just repeats itself. So it's like Nikki said, you can't play into that game because at the end of the day, like you're a bright girl. Like you have a lot of qualities that somebody would actually want to be with. Like you're more than being somebody else's like side piece or what they, you know, you're just more than that. So girl, just move on.
Agree. I have nothing to add to that. I agree.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where it's like, you have to start being selfish, and you have to start putting yourself first, and you have to start knowing your worth. And you have to understand that your husband would not treat you like this. That man's not your husband. That man actually doesn't have anything good for you. So all he's doing is when he wants to bust a nut, and that's me being quite frank, when he wants to bust a nut, that's when he comes to you. And when he wants to bust a different one than what the girlfriend he already has. So just know your worth. You're worth more than those two nuts. Promise. Promise.
Yeah.
Move on.
Please go quickly. But we're gonna go into the next one, and it's called "My Ex Wants to Get Back Together 4 months after the breakup." So it's kind of similar, but me and my ex broke up 4 months ago. Our relationship was falling apart. It went long distance, which put a strain on us. I held a lot of resentment towards him for being controlling, and he initiated the breakup, and I agreed. The first couple months, I was so devastated and hurt. Now I'm feeling much better and more at peace. It made me realize that the relationship was not very healthy. I felt so mentally unstable because we'd be so up and down. When things were good, they were amazing, and when they were bad, we were fighting, and he wouldn't talk to me for a couple of days, for example. I felt so awful. We broke up and got back together 3 times during our 2-year relationship. Right now, I'm at a point where I feel peaceful pretty much every day, and I love that for myself. Do I get nervous that I won't find anyone else? Sure, at times, but I don't want to go back. Today, he called me to catch up and also apologized for how he behaved during the relationship. He then proceeded to say that he missed me so much. When he talks to other girls, he doesn't feel the same as he did with me. Mind you, he started seeing new people 3 days after the breakup. He feels bad not having me to share good news with anymore, then asks if he can get another chance. A few months ago, I would have said yes in a heartbeat. Now I feel like I've moved on and I don't want to go backwards. I'm not even seeing anyone else, but I've just lost interest and have accepted that it wasn't meant to be. Has anyone had this happen to them? Did you give them another chance?
This is all selfish. His 2 reasons were he doesn't feel the same way he does talking to other women. And what was the other one? He doesn't...
Misses having someone to share good
news.
Misses
having someone to share good news with. Those are all selfish reasons. It has actually nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your feelings. It all has to do with how it makes him feel and how he feels in life. And like I said, like, I think that some people, men and women, could be vampires and we don't understand it. Like they literally, like all they do is take. They never give. And all it has to do with is how they feel. And they will use and abuse you as much as you allow them to make themselves feel good. So no, have I given them a chance? Yes. And do I regret it? Absolutely. I would never do it again.
I've been in your predicament, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't go back just because it didn't. Once you, maybe that's not how you feel, but that's how I felt. Once they become a loser, it's hard to take them out of that category. And so it's hard to see them as like a boyfriend. It's hard to see them anything past being a loser. And so when they got to that point, I couldn't go back because I felt like I'm a loser too. So I don't want to be a loser, so I'm not going to deal with you. So me personally, I think you're better off without this person. Like there's a reason why y'all are not together. It may be hurtful right now, but in the long run, you're going to see why you didn't go back and why it was the best decision of your life. So I think you should just keep moving forward, pour into yourself. You don't have to get back into the dating space if you don't want to. Relearn yourself and just refocus and pivot, girl. I think a lot of us, we miss the chance of pivoting. Like, we don't know when to pivot until it's too late. Pivot, girl. Right now, you need to be pivoting. You don't need to go back to him.
Yeah.
He knows you can do better. So do better.
Mm-hmm. And I've definitely been in that space before, and I'm not going to lie. I'm not as strong as y'all. I definitely went back maybe a few times.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I went back. I definitely did. But now, no.
Went back, joined that line like it was Six Flags. And mainly just because it's just like, I don't know, like sometimes it's hard to do what hurts. You know what I mean? Especially when like you're young and it's like you have somebody who you have a lot of feelings for, like telling you they have feelings for you as well. And it just, I guess not as a child, but being younger, it just didn't make sense to me where it's like, okay, if I feel this way about this person, they feel this way about me, why not give it a second chance? What if they've changed? And I think a part of me does like not regret giving that second chance because like now I have no what ifs, you know? Like I was able to like go back to that situation and like ride it completely out and realize like, no, this person is not meant for me. And not even for the reasons why we split up the first time, but simply just because like we talked about earlier, like we're not equally yoked. Like you are just, like I was right to leave the first time, but I don't think that I would have gained that understanding without going back. So it's like, I don't regret it.
Very true.
But because sometimes it's like things just have to happen that way. But I don't think that spinning the block is necessary. Like sometimes I think if you have the mindset where it's like you can go the first time, yeah. If you know you can move forward without regrets though. I will say that it is a decision that you can't just like make like quickly. You have to really sit down and think about it. Okay, well, this is somebody who I was with for a very long time. And yeah, he low-key did me kind of dirty. And now he's come back and he's a changed person. Do I truly feel like he's changed? Yeah, you don't think so?
I don't think people change like
that. I mean, I feel like there's 5% of sometimes where some guys, yeah, there's a difference.
I can't say people don't change. There are people that really change.
I think
because I've seen people change. It'd be too late, but I've seen people change.
I think that people can change, but do I think the majority do? I don't think so. And I think that innately, that's within you. So if you were able to do me like that the first time, I'll be completely honest. Like if you were given the second chance to do me like that and to know that everything will be okay, you might do it again. So for me, I don't think that people truly change. Like people learn, but do I think that people change? Not really.
I do. I think people can be flawed. I think people have flaws and people can work through those flaws and become better. And I tried my hardest not to have that kind of mindset. Oh, the situation will present itself again. You do, because at the end of the day, how do you know they're presented with it again to make the right decision this time? You know what I mean? And so I don't know. It just depends. Everything's a case by case situation, but I do think people are capable of changing. Hell, I've changed myself, so people are capable of changing. So I just think that it just depends on the person. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do. It's just the person. Everyone's going to change for themselves, not for someone else. Understand that.
And I think that this goes back to certain characteristics. Like, I'm not saying that people can't change from liking mustard to ketchup. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that if people have a tendency to maybe go after things like, let's say, like, okay, you get into a relationship, you've been messing with this girl for years, on and off, and the girl knows what it is. Y'all are just friends with benefits. Now that you get in a relationship and the girl is like, hey, like, I want to have a little benefit, do I think that you're now going to be like, oh, I'm not going to have sex with her anymore, even though you were doing that previously?
Right.
I don't think that that's going to happen. I feel like if everything is lined up the way it needs to be lined up and you know that you're going to get away with it, you'll do it.
Right.
Yeah.
It all comes down to that person, what they want to do and how they change.
Because the dating 3 days after the breakup, that's
what I'm saying. Like, what?
Okay, yeah, that part was a little sketchy. I mean, you know, but at the same time, it is a breakup. It is a breakup. So it's like,
yeah, you can do what you want.
You can do what you want.
You can.
You know, it's better than doing that within the relationship.
Yeah, but who knows if he wasn't. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us on our mini episode. please make sure you write in so we can talk about it, so we can discuss and we can have some discourse, and y'all can get some good advice from women who have been there, quite literally. It's your girl, Just Nick, checking out.
Bye. It's your girl, Paulette or Amacolette. Holla.
Bye, y'all. It's your girl, Shelly Shell. Happy October.
And make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms, YouTube, and all the good stuff. Bye, y'all.
Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T. Y. I'm petty all the time.